The afternoon sun filtered through the grimy windows of Evan Cole's small restaurant on station Persef 9, casting long shadows across the scattered tables. It wasn't much, just a converted cargo bay with a kitchen cobbled together from salvaged parts, but it was his. More importantly, it was theirs. They arrived like clockwork at 1400 hours, a cluster of small figures wrapped in tattered cloaks that had seen better decades. Evan had stopped asking questions after the first week. 3 children, no older than human 8-year-olds if he had to guess, with skin that shimmered like oil on water and eyes too large and too knowing for their small faces. Scythian, he'd learned from the station database. A rare sight this far out in the outer reaches. Mr. Cole, the smallest one, who Evan privately called Pip, rushed forward with arms outstretched. The universal gesture of hunger needed no translation. "Easy there, little one." Evan smiled, wiping his hands on his apron. "Got your favorites today. Real synthesized protein, not that reconstituted paste from the vending machines." He'd learned their preferences through trial and error. The middle child, Whisper, he called her for her soft voice, preferred anything with a sweet tang. The eldest stern-faced Guardian would eat anything but always made sure the other 2 ate first. It reminded Evan of his own childhood, of being the oldest, of going hungry so his siblings wouldn't. As they ate with the desperate efficiency of the truly malnourished, Evan watched from behind his counter. 6 months they'd been coming. 6 months of scraped-together meals that cost him more than he could afford. The restaurant barely broke even on good days, but every time he considered turning them away, he'd remember Guardian's eyes, ancient and weary in that young face, and he'd find himself cooking extra portions instead. "Where are your parents?" he'd asked once early on. Guardian had looked at him with an expression that chilled his blood. Far away, very far, the station authorities had been no help. Zethians kept to themselves, they said, probably refugees from one of the border skirmishes. Nothing to be done. The galaxy was full of displaced children these days. What Evan didn't know, what he couldn't know, was that 5,000 light-years away, in a throne room carved from a single massive diamond that orbited a dying star, Queen Sereth sat in council with her war ministers. "Your Majesty," the defense chancellor bowed low, his forearms crossed in supplication. "The Terran Federation requests an audience. They wish to discuss the human settlement expansion into Sector 7. Sereth's expression remained unreadable behind her ceremonial mask. The Zithian Empress, ruler of 200 worlds, commander of fleets that could darken suns, she had built an empire through cunning and force, had crushed rebellions and forged alliances that shaped the galactic order. She had sacrificed everything for her people's survival and prosperity. Everything, including her children. "Tell them we will consider their petition in due time," she said, her voice carrying the weight of absolute authority, but her hand hidden beneath the council table trembled. "Pip," Whisper Guardian. She'd named them for human concepts after placing them on that forgotten station, with only enough credits to last a month. A test, she'd told herself. The ultimate measure of whether humanity deserved the concessions she was considering. Would these humans, these aggressive newcomers to the galactic stage, care for 3 alien children with nothing to offer in return? Her spies reported weekly. One human had. Just one. A failed restaurant owner who could barely feed himself had been feeding her children for half a standard year. Evan Cole. She'd memorized his file. Former military. Honorably discharged after a peacekeeping mission went wrong. No family, no prospects. Nothing to gain from his charity except the satisfaction of helping those in need. The council droned on about trade routes and defensive positions. Sereth's mind wandered to the surveillance footage she watched each night in her private chambers. Evan teaching Pip to use utensils properly. Evan sitting with Whisper while she struggled with the station's dialect. Evan slipping Guardian an extra protein bar with a conspiratorial wink. He'd done more than feed them. He'd treated them with dignity. "With love, Your Majesty?" The Chancellor's voice pulled her back. "The Terran petition?" Sereth stood, her decision crystallizing. "Summon their ambassador. Tell them the Zethian Empire is prepared to discuss not just Sector 7, but a comprehensive alliance." The council chamber erupted in shocked murmurs. The Zethian Empire didn't form alliances. They conquered or dominated. But they also didn't abandon their children to starve. And one human had proven that some things transcended species and politics. Back on station Persef 9, Evan was cleaning up as his 3 small regulars prepared to leave. Guardian paused at the door, looking back with those two old eyes. "Thank you, Mr. Cole," the child said in careful standard. "You are a good man. Hey, everybody's got to eat, right?" Evan shrugged, uncomfortable with praise. "See you tomorrow?" "Always." As their small figures disappeared into the station's corridors, Evan returned to his cleaning, unaware that he'd just altered the course of galactic history. Unaware that tomorrow would bring not 3 hungry children, but a royal delegation, a bewildered human ambassador, and a queen who had learned that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their military might or their stubborn expansion. It was their capacity to care for 3 starving children, simply because it was the right thing to do. In the cold mathematics of empires and the brutal calculus of interstellar politics, Evan Cole had done something revolutionary. He'd made lunch. He'd shown kindness. And in doing so, he'd proven that humanity belonged among the stars. The galaxy would never be quite the same.